What is up, guys? Alex here, and welcome to a pretty unfair comparison between the iPhone SE 2020, of course the newest version, versus the Poco F2 Pro. Of course, this is the regular procedure of the comparisons, game test, benchmark, talk about their specs, which one of course is better, talk about the price, but at the end, in my opinion, of course, on which one I like better. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on into the video. First things first are the screen. So the screen on the Poco F2 Pro is a 6.67-inch screen with 87.2% screen to body ratio, 1080 by 2400 pixels, and 20.9 ratio as well, and a 395 ppi density, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, and it has HDR10 plus. So overall, this is one of the best screens I've seen on basically this phone. Xiaomi did a really good job with the screen of this phone, as I did in my comparison with this phone, with the A51 as well. And I just think that it's a super cool phone that I do recommend on you buying. Again, as I said, it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Now, the Apple iPhone SE has a 4.7-inch screen, pretty small, 4.7-inch screen, IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with 16 million colors. As the Poco F2 Pro screen is also, I think, an Super AMOLED capacitive with 16 million colors as well. Super AMOLED capacitive. Sorry about that. But yeah. Honestly, I think that IPS LCD is better than Super AMOLED. I feel like it's better. Well, that's just my opinion. Both of these have 16 million colors, so they look super well. It has 65.4% screen to body ratio and a 326 ppi density, and it not records, but it shows you the images at 750 by 1334 pixels. So it's not as good as 1080 by 1200 or 2400 pixels on the Poco F2 Pro, but it's still pretty good for the price. Now, I feel that Apple could have lowered the price a lot, but the reason why they didn't is because of the chipset. Now, I'm gonna talk about the chipset in a little bit, but right now, let's talk about the cameras. So the iPhone SE has a 12 megapixel camera, 2160p, can shoot at 24 to 30 to 60 FPS at 1080p. So super good camera as well. Apple, when they wanted to make a cheap phone for people that wanted, of course, to have a cheap phone, or not a cheap phone, but a phone that works, but it's also cheap and affordable at that price. The frontal camera is a 7 megapixel camera. Of course, not really good. 7 megapixel camera. 7 megapixels, I feel like it's not that good of a camera that you could use, but of course, Apple makes their phones how they ever want to make their phones. I don't have any say in how they make their phone. Of course, it has Quality D, dual tone flash, HDR10, and it also has panorama mode as well. So of course, super good phone for the price. They could have lowered it, at least in my opinion. But the Poco F2 Pro has a quad camera. It's a 64 megapixel camera, a 5 megapixel camera, a 13 megapixel camera, and a 2 megapixel camera. That's depth, ultra wide, wide, and telephoto macro sensors that I did show when I did a separate review on the cameras for the Poco F2 Pro. Again, cameras work super well. Now, the motorized pop-up camera is a 20 megapixel motorized pop-up camera. It's a wide motorized pop-up camera. So again, I feel like they could have made it better if it wasn't pop-up. But for example, some phones have 30 megapixel cameras, I think frontal cameras, and they're not pop-up. Like I think the A71 and the A51, they don't have motorized pop-up cameras, but they have a really good frontal camera. And some phones like the A80, Samsung Galaxy A80, has a pop-up camera, but that pop-up camera also works as the back camera. And I think it's a really cool concept, but it was just super buggy, and it was really irresponsive. So now let's talk about the chipset. So the Poco F2 Pro has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865, the latest CPU. Well, not second latest, because you also have the 865 Plus, but I don't think it's out yet. Adreno 650, and you can get it 2 modes: 6 gigabytes of RAM or 8 gigabytes of RAM. That 6 gigabytes is LPD is DDR4 RAM basically, and 8 gigabytes of RAM is DDR5. me, I personally do enjoy working with computers, so DDR4 is the latest amount of, like, of course, RAM you can have, or the latest version of RAM. So phones having DDR5 makes the phone, of course, faster. And I have the 128 gigabyte version, so I think I have 6 gigabytes of RAM, which means I have DDR4. This could, of course, not give you the performance that you want on the phone, and I just honestly recommend for you get extra storage and better RAM at the same time, and more RAM actually. So just buy the version that, of course, has 8 gigabytes of RAM, because it's better. Of course, the Poco F2 Pro also has high-res audio. They wanted to implement that in this super cheap phone. Now, the chipset for the iPhone SE 2020 is a A13 Bionic and a Apple branded GPU. And of course, it has an Adreno 650 on the Poco F2 Pro. That's why it's able to run as many games as it can. And the Apple iPhone SE surprisingly can run Fortnite with the A13 Bionic. I was shocked that it could run Fortnite. Honestly, I was like super surprised that it could run Fortnite, because Fortnite is a really high graphic demanding game. But honestly, running Fortnite, of course, has a hexa-core something Apple, of course, an Apple GPU with 4-core graphics. I doubt that's the reason why I can run Fortnite, but it's probably because of the A13 Bionic that it has, of course, the latest Apple chip. Now, the Apple iPhone 12 will have a A14 Bionic, so this is like not second generation, but second to latest phone or chip that's out right now, because the A14 Bionic will come out, I think, in October, around that area. If you guys saw the WDCS that, of course, Apple posted since the entire COVID-19 virus. Now, the battery on the iPhone SE 2020 is a 1821 milliamp hour battery. So not good at all. But it lasts for the phone. The phone has, mediocre specs because of the price, but it sort of compensates with the battery, you know what I'm saying? So it has not a very good camera, really good chip, not a very good frontal camera, pretty good, not a very good screen either, 4.7 inches, and not a very good resolution for the screen. But it has an IPS Retina IPS LCD display. So this 1821 milliamp hour battery wraps it around together, So they didn't exceed with the battery because of the specs that the phone has, which means they don't need a 4,000 milliamp hour battery for just an A13 Bionic and a pretty mediocre camera and a really mediocre screen. So I see where they didn't add a, of course, higher battery. This is why I'm saying this comparison is really unfair, because this phone is really top tier. It is up there with the iPhone 11, S20 Ultra, yeah, even with the S20 Ultra, because it has 8K. So this Poco F2 Pro is basically a phone that's worth $1,200, but not at the same time. It doesn't have 120 hertz display, doesn't have 6.9 inch display as well. It doesn't have stuff like that. Now, the battery is a 4,700 milliamp hour battery, and that compensates for everything. The 8K camera, 6.67 inch display, HDR10 plus that the iPhone SE doesn't have. The iPhone SE only has HDR10, not HDR10 plus. But yeah, and it also has, a lot of people thought that it had face detection, and it doesn't. It only has, of course, the fingerprint. So that's also pretty, cool. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the phone specs. Now let's go into the benchmark and the game test. Oh yeah, and also I'm gonna do a speed test on see which phone opens apps faster. That may be because of the chips, maybe because of my internet, but no one really knows. But yeah, now let's go into the speed test and then the game test, and then after that, the benchmark. Alright guys, so here we are with the game test. This is the Poco F2 Pro. You guys saw the game test for the, of course, iPhone SE 2020. Now, yeah, we're playing, of course, Call of Duty Mobile, because Fortnite, I haven't updated it on this phone in a while. But yeah, let's see, let's play this. I really do enjoy playing Call of Duty Mobile. I think it's a really good game for mobile, at least in my opinion, and it's running super smooth. I'm pretty sure this is a 60 hertz screen, and yeah, honestly, 60 hertz screens, even though people say that they're bad, honestly, I really think they're, of course, alright, in my opinion. This is my first time playing this game mode, I think we just won. Wow, we just won that easily. That's crazy. But yeah, it's running super well. The Snapdragon 865 as well, with the Adreno 650. Really good phone for the price. You know, basically, you know, with a really good price. But yeah, and that's another match. This is a really easy game mode. Crap, I didn't even know this was gonna be this easy. Oh, I see. They switch your weapons. Okay, I get it now. Let's go. Okay, that gun sucks. Okay, yeah, that sucks. Just, no, come on, where are they? And we just won again. So it's, I'm guessing it's a 2v2, and we won 3-0. Let's go, I gotta be careful. Oh, dang, bro, my teammate don't play. 6 rounds. Yo, let's go. Wait, did we switch teams? No way we switched teams. Let's see. Let's go. I wish I could play Fortnite, but it just takes too long to update the game. Please kill. Please kill. Please kill. Let's go. And we won. I mean, I don't know why I didn't shoot that guy. I guess I wanted my grenade to take over. But yeah, super cool phone. Honestly, runs super well. But yeah, now let's go into the iPhone SE. I wouldn't say 60. I would definitely say 30 frames, but a stable 30 frames per second. But yeah, definitely stable frames. Honestly, I was definitely very surprised with this phone and what this phone can basically do. Honestly, this phone really amazes me every time because the price is not like those medium flagships, I don't know really how to call it, from like Samsung or like the A71 and or the A51 basically, or the Note 9S from Redmi or Xiaomi basically. Those have really high-end specs. Well, the A71 from Samsung and the Note 9S, those have high-end specs and they're pretty cheap. So anyone who wants to buy these phones, they could just go ahead and buy it because I think the companies made them, so if you don't have a lot of money, you can definitely buy the phones when you want them to. So I like that. I like that how they add that. I don't like the fact that Apple doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That's a bad thing. I guess they wanted to make more money for the dongles that they had to sell. The screen does bother me a little bit because I'm always pressing the scope in button by accident like that. Yeah, that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm just gonna get 2 more kills and then let's go on into the conclusion. All right, let's see. Come on, can I find somebody? Oh, there's some. Please don't kill me from behind. Let's go. 3. Come on. All right, we need 50 points to win. One last kill. Here we go. But yeah, that was pretty much for this game test. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Honestly, this phone amazes me for the price of the phone, and it's pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, alright guys, so here is the benchmark. Both phones at 100% brightness. Oh crap, both phones at 100% brightness. It's right here, and let's leave the benchmark. Wait, so let's leave the benchmark and see which one goes faster. So here we go, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Now let's leave it there, and I'm gonna come back when the benchmark is done. Alright guys, so this is the benchmark. Let's see. So surprisingly, the iPhone SE won. That's crazy. So the single core score on the iPhone SE, as you guys can see, is 5,449, and the multi-core score is 13,545. So that A13 Bionic, it's extremely powerful. Right here, Poco F2 Pro, 920 single core score and 3,327 multi-core score. I don't know what this is, if it's the RAM or not, but the iPhone SE just beat it by like a mile. No way. In speed, I think they were like about the same, but the iPhone SE just has more score than this Poco F2 Pro. That's crazy. Now I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and honestly, I really think that this Poco F2 Pro is really good for the price of $500. That's the same price for this iPhone SE 2020. They could have bumped up the specs, you know, really like high, like this phone. This was a really unfair, like, I would say, battle, but other than that, this phone really, like the iPhone SE, does a really good job. Can run Fortnite, can run good games, has a pretty good screen, I'm not gonna lie. Can run Call of Duty Mobile. So overall, the screen is not bad and the phone is not bad. It's just right in the middle. See right here, this is a flagship. This is one of Apple's phones that, you know, you wouldn't really buy, you know, unless you have like a kid or, you know, 12-year-old son and stuff like that, or a daughter. Like you wouldn't buy your daughter or son an iPhone 11 Pro Max because of the risk that they would break it. This phone is perfect for that. Honestly, it runs pretty well. It's kind of a, you know, it's legit looks. You can say, oh yeah, this is the iPhone 8, but it's really the SE because it has the same size screen, basically the same battery, but just a larger chip, and not even, and I think the same camera. But yeah, hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.